Aircraft turbofan engines, starting procedures, and safety measures. Now we're diving into the essential procedures for starting and handling turbofan engines. It's crucial to understand these processes thoroughly to ensure safe and efficient operations. Keep in mind that what I'll be sharing here is a general guide, so always refer to the manufacturer's instructions for precise and safe engine operations. Pre-start checks. Before firing up a turbofan engine, a series of pre-start checks are imperative. First things first, remove all protective covers and air inlet duct covers. If feasible, align your aircraft into the wind. This not only aids in better cooling, but also facilitates faster and smoother engine performance. Clear the run-up area around the aircraft of any personnel and loose equipment. Now it's time to inspect the fuel sumps for water or ice and the engine air inlet for any foreign objects. Take a close look at the fan blades, forward compressor blades, and compressor inlet guide vanes for any signs of damage. Ensure that all engine controls are operational and double-check engine instruments and warning lights for proper functionality. Starting a turbofan engine. All right, let's move on to starting the turbofan engine. If your engine has a power lever, place it in the idle position. Turn on the fuel boost pumps and observe the fuel inlet pressure indicator to confirm fuel delivery. Flip the engine starter switches on and verify oil pressure. Now turn on the ignition switch and move the start lever to idle or start to initiate fuel flow. Keep an eye out for the engine start, indicated by a rise in exhaust gas temperature. For those with two-spool engines, check the rotation of the fan or N1. Confirm proper oil pressure and, at the designated speeds, turn off the engine starter switch. Once the engine stabilizes at idle, make sure none of the engine limits are exceeded. Some newer aircraft models might have the starter drop off automatically. Auxiliary Power Units, APUs. Now let's briefly touch on Auxiliary Power Units, or APUs. These are smaller turbine engines that provide compressed air for various functions on the ground. Starting an APU is generally straightforward. Just turn a switch to the start position and the engine starts automatically. Keep a close eye on the exhaust gas temperature during start. Once the APU reaches its operating RPM, you can use it for cabin climate control and electrical power. APUs are commonly used to kickstart the main engines. Unsatisfactory starts. Despite our best efforts, there are times when starts don't go as planned. Let's address a few scenarios. First up is the hot start, where the exhaust gas temperature exceeds specified limits. In this case, shut off the fuel to the engine immediately. Another situation is a false or hung start, where the engine starts normally but remains at a low RPM. In such instances, shut down the engine. Lastly, if the engine fails to start within the prescribed time, shut it down and investigate. Always prioritize safety in these situations. I encourage you to visualize these procedures and remember safety first. If you're having trouble picturing these steps, take a look at figure for a representation of engine intake and exhaust hazard areas. And figure about turbofan engine control levers. Engine fails to start. In instances where the aircraft engine fails to initiate within the stipulated time frame, various factors may contribute to this issue. It could be due to a lack of fuel, insufficient or no electrical power to the exciter in the ignition system, or an incorrect fuel mixture. In such cases, the immediate action required is to shut down the engine. In the event of unsatisfactory starts, a crucial protocol involves turning off both the fuel and ignition. Additionally, it is recommended to continue rotating the compressor for about 15 seconds to eliminate any accumulated fuel from the engine. If for any reason the engine cannot be rotated manually, a 30-second fuel draining period should be observed before attempting another start. Thanks for watching.